Hey, welcome to Grandpa Sees the Blinking. Please don't take anything Grandpa says as financial advice. Grandpa's not a financial planner. And if you would, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, I'm on a 4-hour chart here in Tesla, and we're going to do a deep dive and some analysis here on volume and why you can tell with the volume, daily volume. Grandpa don't even put a volume chart on his screens, but I do track the daily volume and divergence, and it's probably the one of the best indicators I have. And I'm going to go through this from end to end. A matter of fact, we're going to start back here on 10/11/24, just prior to this completely sideways action here for a week or more. And I'm going to go through that all very shortly with you. And this is probably the most important live stream I've ever done. Is if you want to do well and you have a cash account and you'd like to buy and sell your cash account periodically, like Grandma does. You want to pay close attention. If you have a attention span that only lasts for about 30 seconds or a minute, good luck to you. But if you want to learn something, today is the day. Today is the day. Okay, and Grandpa, I get a lot of people that come on. They listen for 30 seconds to a 20-minute live stream, and they're gone. All they heard is Grandpa sees the blinking, and it just why bother? If you want to learn something, it takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of understanding. Okay, so Grandpa could. So the fair opening price for Monday is 428.59. Are we going to hit it or not? That's the question. The current price is 423, approximately 30 in Tesla. And what you're going to learn with this volume thing that Grandpa's going to talk to you about is that you can buy low volume with confidence, knowing that you're going to go up, 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 and how to know when you may have reached the top. All with volume. Okay, let's see. Doge, Elon. Why Tesla is going to skyrocket? It's the regulations, the reduction in regulations with Elon being in the Department of Government Efficiency. Our government's going to run better. Tesla's going to run much better. And you can listen to some of my previous live streams. 1,000 is in your very near future. 10,000 shortly thereafter. And you can listen to some of my previous live streams, and you'll get Grandpa's opinion. Tuesday the 24th is only going to be a half a day of trading because Christmas is on the 25th. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Don't blame Grandpa if you don't have a Merry Christmas. And we should be back to normal trading on the 26th and 27th. Government shutdown was averted. I see that as bullish. I think it's all garbage personally, but all the analysts are saying this is going to be bullish for Tesla, and I hope so. I hope so. But I will tell you that the drones flying over our military installations, and I think they're probably Chinese, That's bearish. So just and then that fake recall that they had on Tesla that hurt us. So I looking at our volume currently, I just can't don't know for sure. I really want to see what the volume ends up being on Monday. We possibly could get a spike in volume, and if we do, we're going to bounce up just temporarily before we resume going down. That's what I'm hoping for. There's four main indicators that Grandpa uses. Okay, uh, one is the blinking that I've followed for several years, and that is where the market makers buy and sell uh, far out from the price point, um, all through the day, and pre-market and aftermarket. I don't got my chat up for some reason. I'll put it up. Um, so anyway, I got that up. So the blinking, and it gives me, it don't, throughout the day, it can give me indications, but periodically I get big signals that are extremely helpful to Grandpa in his trading Tesla with that blinking. So I follow it as closely as I can. And then we have the HEIKIN ASHI candles. And Grandpa uses the reverse engulfing method, and that gives you buy and sell signals in different time frames with these candles. And there again, you can listen to some of my previous live streams. I go into it in quite a bit of depth. And then you have pivot points. And the fair opening price. Okay, so example would be right here. You see this little white line. Okay, that's a fair opening price, and it hit it several times with a 4-hour candle that day. On this day, the fair opening price was way down here, and oh no, it wasn't. Where did it go? Oh, it was up here. We did not hit it on this day. We gapped down. Okay, so it missed the fair opening price that day. On this day, we hit it, the white line, and then I have my other pivot points, and I'm getting to the point where when we have one that's not going to hit, I very often know it in advance, and it's huge because on a day like right here, where the pivot point is up at 238, okay, and the closest we even got to it, when I miss a fair opening price, it's usually by $10, $15, $20 or more. So if you can know in advance that that's going to occur, and I've called it out 3 times in the recent past here now. Okay, so 238 to 230. This was an $8 miss. Okay, and very often now I will know in advance that we're not going to reach that number, and it's going to open much below it. That's huge for any trader. Okay, so that's pivot points, and then possibly the most important thing that Grandpa sees that he has going for an indicator is the daily volume, and that's what we're going to go through now. And I'm going to try to show you what Grandpa sees in regard to daily volume that could probably change the way you trade and make you a little more relaxed in your trading for sure. So we're gonna go back here to 10, 11, 24, and I'm gonna work my way forward with you up to the present. So just bear with me. There's a method to Grandpa's madness, and if you pay close attention now, you will understand hopefully and see what Grandpa sees. Uh, one of my favorite games is Tetris because you got to put the stuff together. I like seeing patterns and searching for them, and that's what Grandpa does. I'm not up to Grandma's speed, but I'm trying. Okay, so here we are on 10, 11, 24. You know, if you want to jot this stuff down and you got a pen and paper, that's how Grandpa does it. Or you could type it in your computer, whatever. And we're going to talk about the price of the day and the volume in each instance, okay? So on 1011, what happened? Well, we had a volume of approximately, now these are all approximate, I didn't do them right to the penny, okay, or right to the share, but 142 million Tesla shares were bought and sold, okay? That's pretty high volume on this day. We got some, this is a red candle, but it's a big one, okay? And on that particular day, we had a high of 223.34, and we closed at 217.80. Now, don't get bored and run up because you've got to see the picture that Grandpa's going to present for you here. Okay, so on 1014, which is right here, okay, this is 1014.24, and on this particular day, we had a huge drop in the volume. The volume went down to 86 million, okay? However, the price maintained pretty good. It closed at 219.16, higher than the day before, and it had a high at 221.91, which was below the previous day, okay? But as you can see, we're moving sideways, okay? But pay attention to the volume here as we go along. So we took a huge drop. We had high volume. The price was up here, and it was up in the 230.5 area, and we had high volume, and the price did what? It dropped. It dropped. Now, if you get a spike in volume, very often that same day, you'll get a spike upward. But beware, because the next day, you're probably going to be in the basement, okay? And that's the point I'm trying to make to you as we move along here. You're going to be able to see where, when you have high volume and low volume, and you need to be able to know whether or not it is a high volume or a low volume. And hopefully as you move along with Grandpa, you'll get a handle on that. So we went from 230.71 up here, and we dipped all the way down to 213. That's a drop. That's a drop. And you can see it coming. Okay, so I'll never get through this thing if I don't move along. So we're going to move to the next day, which is 215.24. Okay. Now in 215.24, we have a volume of 62 million. So the volume is dropped again. But it's low volume. At this point, we got low volume, and the prices have pretty much remained the same. We got 219.57 and 224.26 on the top side. And what you'll see is we got a spike up on this candle. And what causes a spike like that is because of the low volume. When you start seeing low volume, you can start expecting spikes upward also, not just downward, but upward. Now the next day, and keep in mind, because we're doing a sequence of low volumes all the way across here, okay, and you need to be aware of that. Okay, so we'll move to the next day, and this is well, better do the 17th here. Where'd that go? 15th, 18th, 16th. Okay, so the 16th right here. This day, it went from 62 to 49. The volume on the 15th was 62 million. It's 49 million. It dropped again. Okay, and the range is getting tight here. We're moving tight from high to low. Okay, and she's going nowhere fast. But what this is telling Grandpa is we're looking to go up. 49 and 50 million is low volume. Okay, 1017, 50 million right here, 50 million. This one right here, the 18th, 49 million. Low volume, okay? On the 21st, right here, where I got my mouse, you have 47 million. The volume is dropping. The price is basically maintaining itself within a few bucks, back and forth, okay? You can see we're moving sideways. So we move over here to 1022. The volume is all the way down to 43 million bought and sold. The average volume of Tesla shares in a given day is approximately 90.5 million overall share price volume. So we're running half of that volume, and everybody's scared to death down here. The sky is going to fall. The sky is going to fall. No, the sky is not going to fall. We're going to go to the moon. That's where we're going. And if you pay attention to Grandpa and his volume and his divergence, you will know this stuff. Okay? So, low volume all the way across indicates what? We're going to get a bounce up in a big way, okay? So what happens on 1023? That's this day right here. You start the day out, okay, and what happens? The volume spikes to 80 million. 80 million bought and sold for the day. Look at the candle. You went from an opportunity down here to buy at 214 and a half, and it peaked out in the same day at 234. We gapped up 20 bucks. She just flew right up there. But we're off to the races now. That was the beginning of your sign. You wanted to buy. If you're watching your volume and you see it spiking up, from 43 and almost doubling throughout the day, you want to get in on this candle. You want to buy in this day. As soon as you know the volume is spiking in this day, and you're not going to know it in these first 4 hours, but you will in the last 4. And when you see that on your phone, it shows your volume for the day. Now you know that you got 43 million here. You've had low volume for a whole week, all the way across, which is a bullish indicator. It's extremely bullish, to the extreme, bullish. And you see that you're going to get an 80, okay, or almost double the volume. You want to jump all over it, because why? Look what it did overnight. And then the next day, okay, on 10/24, and that's the day that Grandpa's on right here, the volume went to 204 million shares bought and sold in this day. We're up to 262. You can make a killing if you understand what Grandpa's trying to tell you, okay? And I can tell you with the volume when it's going to go down also. Will I? Probably not, because you probably won't hear the live stream. But let's see, 10:25. What day am I on? Okay, so here, 10:25. Okay. All right, we got a volume of 161 million. Percy, Grandpa's doing live stream. Try to behave. They got some cartoons on, and they're funny. Okay, so this particular day right here, okay, 161. We dropped back 40 million, but we're still quadruple the volume that we had down here. So we still have high volume here, okay, but the volume has dropped back. Right here we peak out, okay, and I believe that's 10:28. Yes, it is. And we drop back to 107 million volume. So we've gone from 204 2 days prior to 107. The volume is giving up. The buyers are leaving. The volume is disappearing. We're going to go down. It's as clear as the nose on your face. That's what it is. And you got 3 days in a row. 204 volume, 161, 107. This is your sign to bail out of your shares and take your profit. Okay? The next day we have 80 million. Okay? She's coming down. The volume is coming down. Now we're looking for an opportunity to see where this thing is going. But a point I want to make is when you see this high volume up here, it's not only a place to get out, it's a place to go down. High volume. Sure, you get the spike on the high volume for a couple days as it goes up. But once that volume starts stabilizing and decreasing, when I see high volume, I think bail out. The sky is going to fall, okay, especially if I have 1 or 2 days of it going on. So we'll move over here to 10:29. This is so exciting, I can't even tell you. Grandpa just loves this stuff. 10:29, 80 million, okay, I think I did that one. 10:30, right here. On 10:30, we're back down to 50 million, 53 million volume. This thing is going nowhere fast, and if anything, I'm interested in starting to think about potentially going uphill again. We're back down to 50. So we get to the next day here. We got 66 million. We get to the next day. We got 57 million. Volume is dropping and stagnating. I'm thinking there's probably going to be a bounce coming here. Here we are here on 11/14. I got to get on the right days here. I can't see it. It's 11/4. No wonder I couldn't figure it out. 11/4. We're at 68 million. Okay, the volume is still low. I'm looking for an opportunity to get a sign that I want to go up. Okay, and we jump up to 11/6. What am I on? Here's 11/5. Okay, 11/5. We have 69 million volume. Well, we've had decreasing volume for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row. This thing is going to go to the moon. We're going to get a spike in volume. Okay, I'm buying. I want to buy this low volume area. You want to buy low volume. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Okay, so we're at 11/5 is 69 million. Okay, I'm anticipating a huge spike in volume. And what do we get? Well, on this day right here, okay, my fair opening price was not right. We had low volume. I was right on all through this area. I hit it every day for the fair opening price with the pivot points. But on this one, we missed it by 250 to 274. We missed it by $24 on the fair opening price. What should have been fair, but we can see it coming with the volume. The volume on that day is 165 million. It almost tripled from the previous day. But you had opportunity to buy. You had 4 days worth of opportunity to buy Tesla with low volume. Okay, and here comes your 165 million volume, and off to the races you go. Okay. On 11/7 right here, then you see 117 million. Still well above the average. She's pushing up. She's trying to make a run at things here. I got to move the machine along here so you can see where we're going. Okay. And on 11/8, so we had 117 volume. Okay, it dropped back down some, but she's hanging in there. I got to make sure I got you on the right one. 11/8. Here, 11/8, we get 204 million volume. Okay, what's the price do? The gray is overnight, but here's the next day. Okay, from here to there, 275 to 299 is the price. Okay, so um, got to get it on the right days here. So then we come to the ninth and 11. Well, it's actually 11:11, and we didn't hit the fair opening price that day either. It gapped up. Okay, and this is how Grandpa tells if the fair opening price is going to very often be correct or not by watching the volume. What did we have for volume on 11/11/24? We had 204 million bought and sold. At this point, Grandpa is getting scared because we got too high a volume. We've got 1, 2, 3 days in a row with very high volume. Grandpa's thinking, we're when I see high volume for a while, I don't think buy. I think I got to get out of Dodge because this thing's going to go down. So what happens here on 11/12? Or did I do 11/11 yet? Yeah, I think I did. Let's see. We had 11/11 was 210 million. Day before was 204. Day before was 117. Day before was 165. We got 4 major days of big volume. And we come to this day, and that is 11/12. And what happens? The volume plummets. You want to be bailing out up here on one of these days because you're going to be coming down because the volume is going to diminish. What are you looking for, Grandma? So anyway, on this particular day, the volume dropped to 155 million. Okay, and I'm trying to get a picture across to you so you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not the best teacher in the world probably, but next day, what do we see? On 11/13, we see 125 million volume. Okay, she dropped another 20 million. This thing is coming down, or the volume is decreasing. But it's still high. It's too high. Here we have 120 million volume. Okay, it's coming down. It's coming down, and so is the price. Okay, so on this particular day, we're at 11/14. We got 120 million volume. Over here, we snag 114 million volume. She's come down from 210. It's dropped. The volume's dropped almost 100 million. That tells Grandpa there's a chance we're going to get a bounce. Okay, and sure enough, we do. Not. It doesn't look like that big a bounce, but I'll tell you right now, it's say 309 to 349. It's $30. It's $30. Knowing this, just for that move. Okay. Now here, I love this when I see this. This is what you call sideways movement, and I like that because it gives you an opportunity to make some money in Tesla if you're buying and selling. Okay, so we're going to look at the sideways movement here. Here we get a spike up. Okay, um, and this is on 11/19. We get a measly 88 million shares bought and sold. That's that that's bullish to grandpa. That's bullish to grandpa. Now we're going nowhere fast. We're moving sideways. The next day is 66 million. Oh, grandpa's getting excited. We got our volume is down. I want to get shares. I'm starting to want to buy the dip. Uh Here on this day. But what day was that? That was 11/21. 58 million. I remember before when it was in the 50 million range, it really took off and I made some money. I'm buying this bus all day long. Okay? At this point, I want to buy. All right? What happens on this day? So we have 11/22. Okay? 11/22. Sure enough, we get a spike in the volume from 58 to 89. It went up 31 million shares. And what did the price do? It gave us a wick up to the top, from top to bottom, up to 360, almost 362. Okay, and you could have easily bought this thing at 337. Okay, multiple times on that stretch across with the low volume. Grandpa's got to get some coffee. Okay, so um, we what day are we on? 11. I can't see very good. 11:25. I think. What do we get? We get a spike up again in volume of 95 million. Higher volume is bearish to grandpa. Okay. We took our run up. Volume is increasing. Sure, the price went up here. It went up and surpassed with a red candle the green candle from the day before. Okay, we made a new daily high up here at 363. But we got higher volume. But to grandpa, it's bearish. Grandma's got the controller. Go talk to grandma. Okay, so then what happens? What happens? Well, we get 62 million. Go talk to grandma. I don't have it. They want the controller and I don't have it. Okay, so I'm going to move forward here and try to get through this. I hope this is helpful for you. It sure is for grandpa. Okay, so here we have 11/27. What do we got? 57 million volume. And the next one I give you is just unbelievable buy signal. It don't get any better. The next one I'm going to give you, and it's right here on 11/29. What happens? 37 million volume. It's in the basement. If you see that, buy and just hold. Buy and hold, because we're going up in a big way. You could get in that day. The high was 336 and change, and the low was 334.32. So you had a real good opportunity to get in on this particular day, and the, the 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 reward is just monstrous. So what happens the next day? Okay, we go to 77 million. The volume's going up, the price is up, but it's still low volume. You got to know whether it's still mediocre volume. Okay, next day 58 million. Oh man, this is looking like I was too dumb to buy back here, but now I'm seeing all this low volume. I want to get on the bus. I want to get on this bus. Price is hovering around 350. Now I missed the boat, but we got low volume. So 12.4. So right here, 12.4, 50 million volume. I'm all over this thing now. I missed my chance back here, but I'm going to jump on it now. Low volume, you're going up, up, up. And what happens next day? 81 million volume, price jumps to 389. Next day, volume, 114 million, price is going up, 463. Next day, what happens? Volume 131. We hit 480, just a penny shy of 484. What day am I on? I gotta show you on my screen, I suppose. Gotta match the dates up. 1210. Okay, so 1210 is 97 million volume. 1211 is 104 million volume. Volume is going up. I'm starting to get a little bit actually nervous over this deal. Next day we 1212 we fall back to 87 million, but still decent volume. Still, we're probably going to go sideways a bit. Next day, 1213, 89 million, basically the same as the day before. 1216. Keep in mind, we had our buy down there with the low volume back before. It tells us to buy. Now we're starting to see higher volumes. Here we have 100 on 1216. We have 114 million. Volume is climbing. Volume is climbing. Okay. What happens here? We're almost to the end of this thing, so bear with me. 1217, 131 million volume. Man alive, we got to spike up with this red indecision candle all the way to 480, within a penny of 484. Okay, we're going to the moon at this point, but not really, because we've got too much high volume now. Grandpa's seeing trouble. Grandpa's starting to see trouble. Jeff's going to say, why didn't you tell me? Well, we both bought this candle at the bottom, and neither one of us sold it. That's why. But poor Jeff. Okay, so what day are we on? We're on the 18th. This is the big banana day. We jumped up to 149 million volume, 3 times what it was back on the 4th, 50 million, where you should have bought. Okay, you would have made $84 run, just knowing when to get in, and you very likely could have bought a day or two earlier. If you would have bought back at the 336 with the 37 million volume, and that was the high of the day, you could have easily got it at 332. 332 to 488. That's a pretty good run. You know, Grandpa had shares in my other accounts that actually did this stuff. But don't tell Grandma. Keep it a secret. Okay, so what's happening now? Where are we going? Where are we going, Grandpa? Okay, so here we have 1219, the day after we made the high. What happened? The volume fell to 118, okay? What happened the next day? The volume jumped to 132. This is our last day. This is Friday. This is what we have to work with. And what bothers Grandpa is, albeit that Tesla can run up into 200 millions on volume, I just don't know yet whether we're going to take a dive into volume or we're going to spike. If we spike in the volume on Monday, we could see the 370, 365 area possible. Okay. But at some point we're gonna I just don't, I honestly don't know at this point. I have to see the volume. Here's your fair opening price. It's and the real price is $5 below that. Okay. At tonight at 8 o'clock, you can start trading with this EXTO thing now. And I do know Grandma's going to get some shares, but she's not going to do a whole bunch because I just don't know where we're going for sure yet based on the volume that we got. We have high volume. I'm anticipating a dip, more of a dip. But we might get another day of high volume that would bounce us up a little bit, potentially. So I don't have enough indicating to know. But when we get where we're doing 60s and 70s and 50s and 40s and 30s in the volume, I'm looking to buy. When I start seeing it go from a low volume to a big high volume, we start getting that big high volume, you can anticipate a drop. And right now, in Grandpa's opinion, we're just absolutely in no man's land. That's why on Friday, Grandma made some money, but she traded very lightly with her cash account. Because we're in limbo, okay? We're in limbo. But we could run 3-4 days where we kind of move sideways, and if we can manage to get ourselves some low volume, we'll know this thing is going to take off and go to the moon. But if we keep getting pretty high volume, this thing is going to go in the toilet. Okay, I think I've made a long enough live stream here. I hope this was helpful. I've done one back. Remember when the price in Tesla went down to 101.89? I went back in time and did a volume study on that all the way up through, for about 60, 70 days worth what happened during that period of time, what brought us down there with the volume, and how the volume brought us back up. What was the volume back in those days? Uh, and my next live stream, I'm anticipating doing taking you back to that point in time, uh, back to 12/27/22, so you can see what happened back then, and I think you'll find it extremely interesting. What it'll do is it'll paint you a picture of how this low volume is a buy signal. Once you've had low volume for a few days, you want to be a buyer. And once you've had high volume for a few days, you want to be a seller. And you can just make a killing. Okay, hey, think about eternity once in a while. Grandpa does. Hopefully I'll be able to come back later today and do this. If not, I'll do that one on Monday afternoon or something. Or Monday morning. And go through it again with the volume. But and pay attention. At 4 o'clock every day or a little after, I do a live stream. I go through the pivot points, divergence with the volume, and I'll start putting more emphasis on the volume for you, so that you see what Grandpa sees. Hopefully. Hey, great sermon today. Pastor really yelled at Grandpa a lot, and he needed it. Really enjoy that message. Got 4 of the little ones, and we got a bunch of the grandkids coming up for a week, so Grandpa's going to be busy. I think there's 7 more of them coming to stay for a week, and so I got a lot of fun times coming. But yeah, I think this is gonna. I search for a way to be able to be helpful. I got a lot of people with cash accounts that would like to know where to buy and where to sell, and so they can make a little extra on their shares, like Grandma does, without me being there with them. And I think this volume thing might be the answer, by telling you whether, in my opinion, that you should be buying or selling based on what we're seeing in the volume. Might be the ticket here. Think about eternity once in a while. Grandpa does. See you later. Bye-bye. Oh, Merry Christmas.